Hello, you beautiful, beautiful people, and welcome to Planet Coaster, and this is my realistic theme park in Planet Coaster. So as you can see, the park is nearly complete, but I've got a few good ideas on things we can add before the big ending, and I think you're going to like them. I think they're pretty good. In addition to those ideas, we've also got a bit of space left over for rides and maybe a roller coaster, which I've been putting off doing since the very beginning of the park. Guys, comment section question of the day. I already know the answer to this question, but how many rides do you think there are on this park and how many roller coasters? Leave a comment down below, and in the next episode, I'll let you guys know and you can see whether or not you've got it right. But yeah, the answer may surprise you. So take a guess, let me know. So let's get started on what I want to do today. But before we get started on that, I just want to say, if you haven't already, make sure you click the subscribe button if you enjoy the videos and the like button if you enjoy the realistic series. And yeah, I really appreciate it. But let's get on and do our first little addition. So the first addition I want to do today is one that I recently added into the cube, but I think it was so good I want to do it in this series here, and that is this little island adventure boat ride. We've already got a boat in the water, but it's not actually part of the ride. So I kind of wanted this, but I didn't really realize it was a thing until now. So if you've not seen the cube, you won't know that this actually works pretty well. So need to find a spot for it. We need like a dock. I think over here might work quite well. We've got quite a lot of coasters and things, but maybe this little area here would be good. There we go. That looks pretty cool. And if you don't know, this is a ride that goes in the water. You have a boat and it kind of goes along a track to kind of simulate a boat kind of going around. But I thought this was such a cool little area that isn't used at the moment, that if I add in this little kind of boat transportation ride, it will, you know, use the space and make it look a little more awesome, which is, you know, which is cool. Alright, so there you go. I've added in the little entrance and exit and stuff, and I really like the fact that when you're queuing or when you come off the ride, you're going to be able to see this roller coaster really close up. I think that would be really cool. Imagine standing here and then whoa, roller coaster. It's going to be cool. I love that. We do only have one boat currently, so let me just go and add some more boats. Here we go. Let's go with 12 boats. There we go. I think that'll be good. And let me show you the route that they've got. So if I hit test, hit play, let's fast forward here, get them going. And yes, the amount of stuff in this park has completely crippled my frame rate and or any potential performance this PC used to have. We're currently rocking a solid 19 frames a second. So yeah, that's great. That's wonderful. So you may have noticed we added in some animals into the water, and I made the boats kind of go around them, so it's a bit of a safari theme, I guess you could say, and the boats kind of look like that as well, which is kind of cool. But they go all the way up here and take a look at the Popeye ride, look at the safari, check out the go-kart area, and kind of make their way back. I know this is a transport ride, and maybe normally you'd have 2 stations, but honestly, this is more of a tour than a transport ride, and I think that's pretty cool. It does make me want to do one in the little bottle pirate cove area. Unfortunately, there's no pirate boat, but yeah, I think I might add one in. So this one's going to be a little bit different, and I've just discovered there's a bit of a problem with having this under here, because as you can see now, we've got some giant foundations, which is, I mean, it could work, but I don't like it. Obviously, when we're underwater, I know this is meant to be my realistic series, but let's just pretend when you're on the roller coaster, there's, you know, some way of you being able to breathe underwater. It kind of falls apart at that point, but there we go. But one thing I am going to do just to make sure this kind of works, let me just reduce the size, just basically fill out this. We've completely blocked the entrance. Hang on. That's actually pretty cool. I like that. Let's just go under a little bit. Nice. There you go. So I've kind of made it a little bit more realistic, I guess you could say. So we now have a little dock. There is a little bit of a realistic kind of explanation as to why that's floating in the water. And yeah, this is really, really cool. I am pretty hyped about this, actually. So unlike the other transport ride, what I want to do here is actually have stations for the different areas. So it's like an easy way to get around. So I'm going to have one on this side, obviously, and then I'm going to have one closer to here by the dock with the pirate ship and stuff. The only problem is I've got a bit of a, an issue with how we're going to get across. So I might have to kind of go back on myself, but that doesn't matter. We can work that out. All right, so I've hooked it all up here, and actually, this is kind of interesting. So I still need to do the kind of replica of the underwater kind of foundation thing, but it's a little transport ride that takes you from here all the way around to this little area here, which we'll hook up and make a little dock for. And then it kind of goes back on itself, back round, all the way past there, underneath the glass thing, which is kind of cool. Up here and under the bridge. I'm hoping it fits. I really don't want to have to remake the bridge, but if I do, I do. And then there's a little station up here by this little roller coaster, which is cool. So there's obviously different places you can hop on and off. But yeah, so I'm going to go ahead and do a little more creative work, I think. Alright, so I kind of figured that this one over here, because the water's quite shallow, it doesn't really matter too much that we've got some foundation. That is fine. I also remember that if I hit play here, there's giant splashes for this roller coaster, which is hilarious, because if you're on the boat, you're clearly going to get absolutely splashed by that water effect. Over here, we've added in another little effect, which kind of works really well for the underground train. When you can look out, it kind of still works and looks interesting, so pleased about that. And yes, one thing we need to test now is whether or not it fits under the bridge, so let's test that out. Alright, so here it comes. Here's the boat at a steady 5 miles an hour, which is, not the fastest. We could have made it faster, but I kind of like how it slowly chugs along. This looks cute and gives the water a bit of atmosphere, adds to the everything going on in the park. I don't know how to describe it, but it looks close. Like I said, I really don't want to have to remake the bridge because there's a lot of scenery on it. But oh my goodness, please, 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 please. I don't think it's gonna fit. If it does, it's gonna be close. You see, now if you watch my channel very often, you'll know that I'm the luckiest planet coaster builder in the world. And this is more evidence of that. That is incredible. Genuinely never planned that, and that worked perfectly. Oh, I'm a genius. Alright, so it looks like I've pretty much finished here making like the dogs look a little bit more believable. So this is the most simple out of the 3. We've obviously got the paths going up to the pathways here. So that's the most simple looking one. This one's another simple one as well, though it's a little bit more complicated. And I really like how, the paths go through the trees and stuff. Actually, this bush is kind of getting out of hand. Let me just rearrange. So it's just a case of using what we've already placed in and kind of shuffling it about to better fit the paths we've got. Yeah, I kind of like the idea. You kind of go onto the beach and onto this little floating dock here, which is pretty cool. But the main one, which is our first dock here, is a little bit more elaborate. So as you can see, I've actually made a bit of a thing for this, which is cool. And also, I kind of want to add more stuff along here. I don't know. Maybe you guys can add a comment on like what I could add here. Shops is an obvious answer. Maybe a ride that kind of fits into that space. I don't know, but this whole zone here is a bit empty and I want to do something with it. I just haven't really figured out what I want to do. But anyway, we need to add a few more boats. So I'm going to go with, I think maybe 15. I think that might be quite good. So 5 each dock. Let's see how that plays out actually. test it here. Oh, it is testing. Okay. It's just really slow. Okay, I've dramatically reduced from 15 down to 8 because I do want boats on the water, but at the same time I don't want it to just be constantly filled with boats kind of going around. But I think maybe that's a good middle ground here. Yeah, that kind of looks cool. Nice. And then 2 at this one. I think that's a really nice little addition, especially like when you're zoomed out, and they'll be more spaced out obviously when we've got guests in the park. I think that'll look pretty neat. But there's one thing I need to do quickly, and that is actually make a dock out of this little station over here, because I kind of did it, but I didn't really finish it. Okay, so that looks a little bit better. I've actually added in a proper dock, kind of like that. As I said, pretty nice. I'm going to move this boat as well. They're kind of out in the middle, make it look a little bit more interesting. And I absolutely love this park. It's absolutely looking fantastic. Okay, so I've been playing around with the scenery just before we go, and before we get onto something that I want to leave you with today. I really want to add this in, but there's a problem with this, and it's really frustrating, and maybe you guys can come up with a solution. I love reading the comments. You guys are really creative, but there's a problem right now in my shark head. It's the same as the one over here, obviously. Actually, this has been wrong the entire time. That's really annoying. Hang on. And just swing that around a little bit. There we go. It's cool and everything, and from the side it looks absolutely awesome. Like this from here. Wow, that looks so scary and realistic, and oh, I love it. I'm even going to take a screenshot, maybe for the thumbnail of this video. But, as I said, it's got a giant hole in the back of it. So, I don't really know what to do. And I swear I just did this. What the... Let's just... No, I can't redo. That's spooky. It's a haunted shark. There we go. I love the noise it makes every time you place it as well. Dun. But yeah, so I desperately want to be able to use the shark. Is there... Let me just double check. Is there actually just a normal shark? I mean, there's the animatronic ones, but there's no shark without a hole. So I don't know. I'm going to remove it for now, but if you guys come up with a good solution, I'll definitely put it back in. But anyway, let's get on to something over here. Okay, so I'm not going to do it in this episode, but I do want to kind of tease you guys with it, if that's okay. So I want to build another ride here in this kind of part of the park, but I want it to be awesome. I want it to be like a really, really awesome roller coaster. And that is, can you guess what I'm going to put in? Have a little guess, just in your head. See what I'm going to go with. Here's the roller coasters. Actually, I can make this larger, which is kind of cool, but I never ever do it. So, have a guess. Have you picked one yet? No? Okay, I guess I'll just tell you. So what I'm going to go with in my next kind of roller coaster build in the next episode is the single rail coaster, which is really, really, really cool looking. I'm just going to place the entrance here. Where should I put it? We'll just put it up along this edge here. So I can move the paths around if I want, but look at this. If I go with the single, it looks crazy. Just one massive chunk of rail, I guess you could say. It's like a monorail almost. It's not a monorail, but it's kind of got that vibe. And the seats you kind of sit in are kind of all enclosed. You just have it over your legs. And that's what we're going to go with as our kind of really awesome ride. But as I said, that's going to be the next episode. So stay tuned for that. Let me know what you think of the addition in this episode. I think the boats are really, really cool. And yeah, I'll see you in the next one. Take care. Bye-bye.